Great bout between Jack Della Maddalena and Randy Brown. Plus 220 or plus 288 for Randy Brown. 4-1 in his last 5. Jack Della Maddalena hasn't lost since his first 2 losses. So he's on a 13-fight win streak. Minus 288 for him. Over-under set at 2.5. Plus 138 for the over. Minus 138 for the under. I got to say, when I saw this price, I was a little shocked. I know a lot of people, including myself, are very high on Jack Della Maddalena, but just for the experience wise, I mean, Randy Brown's been in the UFC for a while. He's fought some pretty good competition, and he's been in the UFC since 2016. So he's been around. He's been in there with the likes of Bilal Muhammad, Nico Price, Brian Barberina, Vicente Luque. Bigger names in the welterweight division, guys that have been around for a while. Jack Della Maddalena, not so much. Just getting behind that price is a little concerning in my opinion. I mean, debuts against Pete Rodriguez, nothing special there. First round knockout against Ramazan Ameev, a guy who has pretty much zero hands. Danny Roberts, first round knockout. I mean, he was a minus 660 favorite. Then he comes into this one as a minus 288 favorite. I like the guy. I like the guy a lot. He's got really strong boxing. He can get in some bad spots on the ground that I think maybe Randy Brown could expose. He's got good, submission threats. Randy Brown does long dude. I mean, he's 6'3" at welterweight, 78-inch reach. He's going to have 5 inches in reach on Jack Della Maddalena, who's a stand-up fighter, wants to box with you. So he's going to be outmatched in the length, the reach division. So a lot of the signs are pointing to Randy Brown as the dog. But as of late, I mean, he's kind of played with his food in his last few fights. He could have gotten a lot easier wins, probably could have finished the fight against Francisco Trinaldo. Chaos Williams was a split decision win. That could have went either way. But ultimately got the win. He's on a 4-fight win streak. So there's that for him. He's got the momentum, but obviously so does Jack Della Maddalena. I don't know that I could get behind a minus 288 price, but with the over-under set at 2.5, you might get some decent value on Maddalena inside the distance if that's what you're looking for, or by KO. Could get that closer to even or something around there. So yeah, I mean, if it goes to decision and it's like a stand-up battle, Randy Brown has that ability to just jab, stay at distance. It goes to decision. Do you really want a minus, close to 300 ticket in your pocket on the money line? I don't know about that. So I would lean the values on the dog. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think so too. It's just one of those fights that you don't want to take Jack Della Maddalena at anywhere over minus 200, in my opinion. But you look at Randy Brown, and he's got some good wins, but at the same time, he hasn't had a finish since, I guess, he fought Alex Oliveira. He got that one-arm rear naked choke. But Jared Gooden, Chaos Williams, Francisco Trinaldo, two unanimous decisions, one split to Chaos. So, and Francisco Trinaldo is a good fighter, but he's also 44 years old.
Oh, dude.
The length and being 6'3" in this fight, I think, is going to play a factor a little bit, maybe at first, just because Jack Della Maddalena likes to throw that jab. He's got a really good jab, but against a guy that long and a guy that tall, it might be a little harder at first to find that chin. So yeah, Jack's got such power, and we've seen him knock out guy after knockout guys, and I don't think he's been past the second round since his very first pro fight, where he lost via knockout in the third round or something like that. So I'll be interested to see if Randy Brown can just drag this thing on into the second and third round to see what happens. But I don't necessarily want to bet on either guy here. I don't think the line is quite where I'd like it to be. You're taking a big risk laying money on the money line for Jack Della Maddalena, especially against a guy that has some better attributes than the guys that he's used to fighting. Guy who's got more experience than the guys he's used to fighting. So yeah, I'm not necessarily confident in putting money on the dog here either. That under 2.5 though, Randy Brown doesn't get hit a whole bunch. I think he's right at just over 3 significant strikes absorbed per minute. But Jack, I know these numbers are going to be a little bit skewed because he doesn't have that many UFC fights. 8.45 significant strikes landed per minute at a 50% striking accuracy. So he is going to land his shots. I guess we'll see how long it takes him to figure out the height and that reach disadvantage. But um, both guys can strike a little bit. Jack's got a lot of power. I'm not too. I guess I would lean towards the under 2.5. 2.5 is a lot of rounds for a guy like Jack Della Maddalena, especially what we've seen, especially since he's only been to the third round once and it was in his pro debut. So I kind of like that right now.
Yeah, and his only fight that's gone the distance was his fight on Contender Series against Angelosa, who's
that's true. That is
damn durable. So there's that. He is fighting in his home region. I don't know what they call him in Australia, but Perth, if that's a city, county, I don't know. But he's from Perth, and it's in Perth, so he's fighting out of his home region. So I don't know. Maybe could get to him. Could get to him. Younger guy. He's 26. So yeah, it could get to him. You never know how someone's going to react. Fighting in their home state, home region. One thing I will just say on that one, I will be looking to see what Randy Brown by submission is. That price on that, because it could be pretty juicy. I think he's got those long limbs. He could snatch something up. And from what I saw on film, like Jack Della Maddalena puts himself into some tough positions on the ground against Ramazan Ameev and Angelosa, even in his Contender Series fight. So I'll be looking at that.
Randy Brown does have 5 subs too, so
yeah,
he can get it done.